Everybody loves Halloween, and it is no exception here at Amberstone Draws. So this month, if you join my Patreon at the $5 or higher level, you will get this 1-inch bat with candy corn. Look at his cute little glitter. Then, if you stay the month after that, you're gonna get your very own Citry Pilot Wings. But come join me on Patreon at patreon.com/AmberstoneDraws. And have a very spooky October. Bye. Today we're going to talk about Sleepwalkers. Sleepwalkers is a 1992 movie about some giant cat people. They can change shape to look like humans, so why am I lumping them in with vampires instead of saving them for some weird cat shifter month? Because they're immortal, psychic vampires that suck the youth out of the young and the virtuous. So that counts in my book. Weird psychic vampires count. I'm not gonna lie, this is a weird little movie that is mostly critically reviled. It has weird, incestuous, sphinx-like, hairless cat creatures that seem to have every kind of magic at their disposal, except a cat-repelling kind of magic, my boyfriend points out. Its original director wanted them to be aliens, and wanted to showcase an entire planet of sleepwalkers. Even the writer Stephen King, in his only movie written solely for the screen, all others have been adaptations of books or stories, doesn't take it seriously and turns it toward a more comedic bent halfway through. It has its problems, but I don't care. I love this movie. I think I was 12, close to 13 when this came out, and the concept of a monster love story really spoke to me. Being kind of cat obsessed, the idea of a horror movie with a young girl and a cat as the heroes was fascinating. Having the antagonists also be cats was just neat. This is just a weird movie for me, but I think my parents finally did rent it because I have this recollection of having watched it, and then my mom was gonna go pick up my sister at a slumber party or just a regular party, and I didn't want to be left alone in the house by myself, so I went with her. But the song Boadicea or Boudica, I don't remember how to say it. We're gonna figure that out and we'll edit it. But that was stuck in my head for a literal year or something. Anyway, the soundtrack in this is really good too. Aside from the Inya music, which they play about 5 times through the whole thing, the actual score is really nicely done. And they actually got an orchestra to do it, which is really cool, because you don't see as much of that nowadays. I mean, you used to see a lot of it back then, but not on a horror movie. I called them antagonists, but they are the antagonists, but are they really the villains? That's a question that you can ask yourself. When you look at interviews and behind the scenes material, the Sleepwalkers are just trying to survive, and it's just that survival comes at a price. In particular, the mother Sleepwalker, Mary, holds views that they should kill humans before humans kill them. And the actress who played her really brings a lot to that. Her constant stress over the ever-increasing amount of cats in her yard, it just adds to the view that these creatures are scared. They're always running, they're always hunted. They don't sound like normal antagonists. This movie's sad. It's a tragedy. You're watching the last dying gasp of a once exalted race, which they kind of pinpoint in the opening sequence when they show you all the Egyptians worshipping cats and stuff. In fact, the original ending is somewhat more tragic, with both Sleepwalkers burning out on the lawn, melting while holding each other, but test audiences didn't like it, so they cut it. Now, Sleepwalkers is a mixed bag. The performances are incredible from Tanya and Mary, and really, nobody in this is really like a bad actor. And how old are the people? Okay, I did look up the ages. And you know what? Like, this movie has great stuff in it. Like, yes, that is Mark Hamill in the beginning. He's uncredited. And yes, that is Ron Perlman as, like, the deputy sheriff. Which, like, this movie reminds me that he is a regular-sized human being. Like, the sheriff knocks a fucking door off its hinges, flies into the room, and my boyfriend is like, what the hell? How strong is he? And I'm like, yeah, and it's not Ron Perlman either. And then he walks into the room, and Ron Perlman walks up next to him, and you're like, oh my god, how tall is this guy? Well, he's not that tall. He's only 6'2". Ron Perlman's only 5'11". I didn't know that. He seems so large. The old school effects are nicely done, and holy bejesus, that's a lot of cats to wrangle. Like, a lot. They were even using real cats literally on the Sleepwalkers, although there is a hilarious Clovis puppet that is just so funny. But effects like the car disappearing are well done, even for now. The only weird things in it are the Beauty and the Beast looking like half makeup, and the morphing, which even those are decent. There's a lot to be said for practical effects making sure a movie ages well. The film quality is maybe not meant to be viewed on a high-def TV though, and the upgrade to Blu-ray still had some weird flickers that were consistent and persistent through the first half. But I just upgraded to a 4K TV, and actually, like, I watched parts of it twice. Once here on the 4K TV with the Blu-ray, and then over at a friend's house on his older LED TV, and did not have the flicker problem. So it may just be that my 4K TV is trying to overcompensate for the weird kind of moire patterns that you can see in the background sometimes, because of the old film grain, and it's just a really horrible experience. So maybe if you like old movies, don't upgrade your TV so much. But anyway, I still love this movie. Time has given me some new perspective on some parts of it. Like in interviews, Stephen King has said that this one was always meant to be a movie because he used to go to a movie theater with his son, Joe, and Joe had a crush on the popcorn girl there. And I think that's partly why Charles, the boy sleepwalker, starts out as so sympathetic, and why he stays sympathetic for some parts of the movie. Like, it was pointed out to me when we were watching it the second time, like, the guy's a fucking dick. Like, when he tries to run over those kids on the middle of the street. Stephen King, in behind-the-scenes stuff, has even stated that Charles does love Tanya, but he's fighting with his instincts, and ultimately those instincts win. 12-year-old me is like, oh, he loved her. He was gonna let her go. And here's where time has given us another perspective, because, yeah, it's fucking sad. And maybe he was gonna let her go for that one brief moment in the cemetery, but he didn't. And, like, seriously, fuck that guy. Get him, Clovis. So, yeah. He might feel sorry for Charles in the beginning, because, like, this is kind of all he's known for his whole life. And there's been a lot of talk about how the mother and the son, they are their whole world, basically. But in the end, like, you look at stuff like dinosaurs and things like that, and they're gonna eat somebody. They have to eat to live. And that's what the Sleepwalkers are doing, is eating to live. But there's no real winner here. Everybody in this movie is a bad guy to somebody else in the movie. I guess that's the weird takeaway from it, is that this movie is just kind of a tragedy. And I do also want to point out that since this movie was written by Stephen King to be a movie, it is one of the only movies that he has said he could imagine a sequel for. I mean, like, It Part 1 and 2, those don't really count because, like, they're not really sequels, it's more of a continuation. But basically, he's said that he's written into all of his contracts that the movies can't have sequels because he straight up hated Pet Sematary 2. So he writes that into all of his licensing deals from then on, except for Sleepwalkers. So it's really weird. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool if we got another one at some point. And with the nostalgia resurgence for everything post, like, 2000, maybe that's on the plate. Maybe. I don't know what the hell it would be, because this one is just, like, terrible in its ridiculousness. And, like, the performances from the girl who played Tanya and Mary, man, they... There is no doubt when you are watching this that Tanya is, like, fucking scared out of her mind. And the girl who played her, whose name I'm blanking on at the moment, she has said in interviews that she didn't realize the movie was cheesy and she took it very seriously. And she did. And I mean, her acting and the acting of the woman who played Mary, they sell this whole thing. Without those two, this movie would just be relegated to, like, the $5 bin at Walmart. Which, yes, you can sometimes find it there. But that's not the widescreen version, so, you know. But yeah, I could talk about this movie for a while, but I'm gonna let you guys go and tell me what you want to see next time. I'm going through my favorites right now, so the next one is gonna be a pretty fun, cool one that I enjoy, and we're probably gonna get some, I don't know, terribly embarrassed rambling about it too, because, like, watching all these movies from when that I saw when I was young, you have this nostalgia for them, and that is definitely the case with this one. I can watch Sleepwalkers with a critical eye, but what's the fun in that? Seriously. The next one is going to be in the same vein. So if you have any more vampire movie recommendations for our October and maybe some Vampvember, toss those down there in the comments. And don't forget to come and join me on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AmberstoneDraws. And if you join during the month of October, you get my cool bat pin with his candy corn. And then if you stay the next month, you're going to get your Citry Pilot Wings pin. I mean, if you join at the $5 level or higher, because I keep forgetting to mention that. You don't get it for the $1 level. God, I'm not made of money.